Hi, I am HotMessNessMUA, otherwise known as Vanessa. And today, we are not doing cosplay, although I guess it is kind of the same thing. I don't dress up and go anywhere. I just like to put this stuff on and walk around my house and film videos. So today's video is a very special, it is a Disney princess collab. And a couple of my girlfriends here on YouTube are also doing their versions of the collab. There's the real princess. So I am going to insert photos of the girls participating in this collab right here.
Don't move, it makes the thing bounce.
So after you watch my video and how I created this wonderful look, please go check out my friends here on YouTube. We've got Vanessa loves the makeup. We've got Raquel, and we've got a couple of my other friends that may add into the mix along the way. There's also Amber. So I am going to have you go check them out after you check out this video if you want to see how I created my Aurora look, which is also daytime appropriate if you want to rip off this stuff. Then just keep on watching. Let's get this party started. Always important, skincare. So we are going to put on some moisturizer. Because this is a matte foundation, I'm going to use the Brighter Days moisturizer as well. Correct. It Cosmetics Bye Bye Under Eye. So I am just adding over my Bye Bye Under Eye, adding a little bit of Fix Plus and blending that in with my fingers. And once it gets nicely blended, then I go in with the Beauty Blender. Blend it all out so I have a nice smooth base to start. Forgot to use primer. So I'm going to use a little bit of this Smashbox on top to try to get the foundation to stay. So I'll probably be wearing this makeup all day long. And I forgot to do my primer, so I'm just using Smashbox Photo Finish Primer, mixing that all over my face, then blending it with the Beauty Blender. You know, standard stuff. I want a full coverage foundation, so I'm going to be using Hourglass, and this is the shade Buff. I did 2 layers of this foundation. First I went through and added the first layer, I blended it out, and then I did a second layer. But I did that because I wanted really full coverage. You don't need this much. After looking at it, I was like, wow, that is a lot of flippin' makeup. But for the purpose of the video, that's what I did. And then I went in with my Bye Bye Under Eye and spot concealed any areas that might have peeped through. Probably, again, unnecessary. But I just went through and blended everything very well and made sure that it looked smooth and flawless because I'm a damn princess, okay? This is the point that I did the spot conceal with the Bye Bye Under Eye. It really, like I said, wasn't overly necessary, but the camera was picking up that I need more coverage, and when I looked at it, I really didn't. Now just light contour because, you know, we're a princess. Now you use the Anastasia stick for, it's called Fawn, for my contouring. I use this every day. It's cool toned, and you can build it up to get more opacity. Those of you that are thinking about KK beauty, you don't need all that. Shape tape. Now I'm using Shape Tape under my eyes in light, medium, neutral, and I just place it in all the places I want to highlight. I did go heavy for the purpose of the video. Then I go in with a little bit of the lighter shade Sand just at the points I want the highest. Then I take my handy dandy finger and I just kind of push it into the skin and allow it to set. This is like my go-to all the time, even if I'm using just a little bit of concealer, so that way it will really set in. And then I'll go in and beauty blend after I've blended all of my contour. So it just allows it to set and kind of be there. So I blend out the contour with my blender, bounce, bounce, bounce. You know, you've seen this 1,000 times, but we have to put it in because it's part of the video. I do apologize for that. Then I go in and blend out the nose, you know, same beauty blender. And then I go in and blend out the concealer. And I'm always using that pouncing motion. I'm not really dabbing, but it's like a pushing it into your skin, and less pressure where I want it to blend more pressure where less of a blend. Does that make sense? Because you want the color to gradually go in. I'm going to be using a liquid lipstick that is quite abrasive, like it stays on. So I'm going to give myself a little bit of a lip scrubby action. And yeah, I'm putting on a lip scrub. This is the Jeffree Star Orange Soda, and it is delicious. I would eat a whole bottle, but that's weird. I might do it someday. And while I am letting that be, I'm going to use a little bit of the Bite Beauty Agave Mask. So good. Now I'm going to set my face using a little bit. This will give us more coverage. This is the MAC NC20 Studio Fix. Now some people set their face with powder. I set my face with a pressed powder and my Wayne Goss brush because I'm getting old and I don't need creasy layer upon layer. And that's just what I do. Next up, we're gonna bronze, and instead of doing a really contoured look, all the princesses have, you know, beautiful flawless skin and very light, very young and fresh. So I am just going to be contour and bronzing with, this is Divina Cosmetics. This is an indie brand, one of my favorites, and this is the shade Sandbar. Now I'm taking my Divina Cosmetics and I am just going in and bronzing the heck out of my face. This is a light shade. It is perfect for my skin tone and I just love it. I'm going to use a clean brush to just blend everything together. Now we're going to go in and use other powders to give dimension and do highlighting on the face. This is Kat Von D's Lyric, and I love these as highlighting powders. They're from her Shade and Light Contour Kit, and now they have the refills. I can't wait to get the cream one. I can't afford to buy it right now, but I will definitely be purchasing that in the future because I love Kat Von D products. Take the pinky shades, as you can see, well loved. I'm going to take the pinky shades and sculpt what I just bronzed. This is my magic eraser for makeup. I just take it and fix all the spots I need fixing.
Okay.
We're gonna blush, and we want to look like we've been really flushed from within. I like to use the ColourPop Super Shock Cheeks. They are really beautiful. The stay wears good if you're looking for something in the heat, the summertime. These are really good for that because they are cream, but they blend really nicely. And using a brush like this is just a cheapy crown brush, but like the duo fiber brushes are really good for that. So yeah, that's me putting on blush, and I'm swirling, and I'm dipping, and I'm swirling. Go too hard and blending isn't enough. You can always add a little bit of powder. Now I want a little bit more blush. So I like to do everything with a cream first and then a powder, and it really will hold down your makeup. So this one I got in one of my little kits. It's called Insightful, and it is the perfect, like, just blush on your cheeks. A little bit more here.
So I'm going to take Urban Decay Fetish. I love these blushes so much. These were my top go-to until I discovered the Too Faced. So that's more of a mauve. Is it mauve or mauve? and that I'm going over where I bronzed.
So I think you can see the basic theme here. Anytime I do anything, then I go back over and blend it. It just is what works for me. Okay, so now we are going to move on to a highlight. I do my highlight very much in the same way when I want something that pops, but I never really want that. I mean, I want it to define, I want to turn my face and you see the glow, but I am not real big on, I mean, I don't walk around with a ring light, you know? So you get what I'm saying. Any kind of cream. A long time I've been using the ColourPop Super Shock highlighters. Those ones are good. But we are going to play with this one. This is the Anastasia shade in Oyster. I meant to get Perla. I'm gonna dab it here. I'm telling you guys, if you don't want a stark line, beauty blend everything, okay? That is the save all. Beauty blend everything. Now I'm gonna use Gimme Glow. This is called Night Glow. Now I'm going to use the Gimme Glow highlight with a Makeup Geek Cheek highlight blush brush. It's really cool. It's like a flattened duo fiber brush and it distributes color really nicely. And then I blend over with my Wayne Goss airbrush. You know, everything I do, I blend over. And as we go, we get a little smaller, get a little smaller. So now I'm gonna take the shade Stunner from Tarte. So I'm just taking a more flat brush. It's one of those Morphe ones that I got in the kit. I go smaller brush, more concentrated area, and then I blend it out. I took a clean brush, just a random unicorn brush that was clean to blend this part out. I'm gonna mix a little bit of Artist Couture Cocoa Bling and Saucebox Festival Love. These are loose powders. They're gonna give you a lot of bang for your buck. So I usually use my Morphe M510, but I couldn't find it, so I just use another regular Morphe brush, mix both powders together, and I'm really blending as I push it in, but a smaller area, smaller brush, brighter product. I feel like our complexion looks pretty good, so I'm gonna add a little Prep and Pine to let everything kind of meld into the skin, and then I will go on and do brows. Now for the brows, we're gonna do something very angular. So what I meant to say was more rounded. The princess has very arched brows, they're thin, so that's what I was going for. So I started with the Goof Proof because you really can't fail with that product. And I was kind of trying to structure a brow, and you know I don't have any. I do not have any brows, so this is a hard thing. And then also I'm noticing throughout this footage that my iPhone was doing this weird white light and it was really frustrating, so I do apologize for that. So I just go through with the Goof Proof and then I go back through with the Precisely My Brow and structure them a little bit more. I take the spoolie, run it through, and then I even use a little brow powder from Milani to fill them in quite a bit more and really try to keep that arched, circular, kind of cartoony vibe. And I use my fingers to do a lot of cleanup. A lot of times I'll use concealer, but I wasn't too worried about them. I knew they were going to be covered with the bangs. So then I took this Wet n Wild pencil. It is for the brows. I actually use mine for my lower waterline to make my eyes look more awake, and I actually use them at the end of the video. Then I took the little sponge end that came in the Milani kit and blended it out. Then I just took a regular powder, and I love this brush. This is the brush from the Electric palette. You need this brush. And blended it and set it. We're gonna prime our lids with the Wet n Wild Photo Focus. So using the Wet n Wild Photo Focus primer, it's a really smooth primer, and I find that as I get older, it's nice because it doesn't crease on me. And then I just set it with my regular foundation powder. The RCMA powder on top works really nicely too, and that gives me a nice base for all of my shadows. I'm going to take the shade Harvest Moon from Looksy Beauty and what is this called? Buttercup. So Buttercup is nice yellow and Harvest Moon. So I'm just gonna take a little bit there and that's gonna be my crease color. So I'm just blending this color into the crease. It's a nice yellow shade to brighten. I'm gonna take the shade Dirty, a little bit more in the crease. And take your time and build slowly. That'll help you achieve the coloring that you want. I wanted a gradient, but I still wanted a differences in color. Taking a Wing Goss 03 to blend that out. And a little bit more of the Harvest Moon and Buttercup. Now I'm just taking those two shades and blending out the dirty shade just on the edge. So hitting it and blending it. Hit, blend, hit, blend.
And I'm taking the shade Weakness. If you've ever heard Jaclyn Hill or anybody talk about that perfect baby puke color, it's this one. And this is just going in my crease.
To build up the opacity that I wanted, I actually did this step 2 times. So I dip back in and blend it, dip back in, blend it. And you know what we're gonna do next, don't ya? Surprise! We're gonna blend it again with a new brush that's clean. Little Wing Goss 19 and the shade Bambi. It's this beautiful chocolate brown. And I'm gonna start laying that just on the lid. This is a technique that is called Rebel Eyes, where you start with one shade and you keep it real close to the base of the lash line and you slowly work it up in the blend so it'll gradiate. I already have a transition shade, so I'm just putting that Bambi shade on the lid, and I keep repeating this over and over again so that way I'm getting darkest to lightest, and I'm doing it at an angle too, so I'm getting that nice diffused look. And there's gonna be a baby in this voiceover because there's nothing I can do about that. Then I'm gonna take this shade right here from Divina Cosmetics. It is called Manic, and I'm gonna push that right next to the lash line. Now Manic from Divina Cosmetics is a rich brown, so I'm using that as close to my lash line as possible and building that a little bit more. And then eventually what I do is I blend that into the Bambi shade. So this look, you're just kind of building, and you may have to go in a couple more times. I always change brushes. I go from small to big. That helps a lot, and you're getting that, again, the gradient look that looks flawless. It just takes time blending. It's not hard. And we're gonna go back with our 19 and blend the two together. Now for a little inner corner highlight, I'm taking a clean pencil brush from Makeup Geek.
Gotta make sure it's actually clean.
I'm a liar! And this shade from Luxie Beauty, it's a duochrome, it's called Lemon Drop. We're gonna top it a little bit of Nude Beam. It's kind of like a glittery one. I think I got this in the Vegas Nay kit. It's a Too Faced. Then when I put on this glitter, when I was done, I actually used a blending brush and blended it around the outer, like the inner eye. I'm going to line the upper waterline just in the lash area with Makeup Geek Full Spectrum in Espresso. Then I took this same eyeliner and just do the lower corner of my eye, and then I ended up using a brush and just adding some more of that Manic shade, and then I used a smaller brush that was clean and blended the edges of that, but only from like the middle of the eye outward because I didn't want it to be too dark. Then I took my it was the Wet n Wild pencil that I used on the eyebrow, the upper, and I used that to keep my eyes awake and poppin'. I wiped off my lip balm, and now I'm just gonna, kind of even out the skin here. And I'm gonna be using the shade Lover from the Maybelline Super Stay Matte Ink on telling you, these are so good. They're drugstore. The wand is crazy. This liquid lipstick is so potent, so long wearing that I can actually put a coconut oil gloss on top and have a shiny lip, and it does not budge. So that being said, you also need to remove it with an oil, but it is beautiful. Highly recommend. And that is the lip. So we have to add a couple finishing touches to make it really Sleeping Beauty. I'll be right back. So I just popped on a fun little wig and a little dress that is very reminiscent of Sleeping Beauty. I feel like I should play more of the stepmothers than the princess because I feel like I'm a little too old to be rocking this. But it was fun nonetheless, and it really gets the creativity moving, and that's what I love about doing collabs like this. They really make you stretch your brain further than you normally would and try something new. So I am really appreciative of doing things like this. Thank you so much for watching, and please don't forget to go see my friends and their versions of their princesses, and coming soon, we may or may not have some villains in the mix. Mwah. That I'm really excited about. So keep watching, keep hitting that subscribe button, that notification bell, and you will be the first to know when I upload the next video. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye. Okay, so, you know, behind the scenes of everything is so much more fun. Number one, I should never wear bangs. Number two, this is just a necklace that, because I felt like, you know, the wig was too bumpy because I didn't really place the wig right. Surprisingly, if you didn't know this about me, I'm going to tell you. I used to do wigs for theater. I did a whole summer where I put wigs on people like Blythe Danner. If you don't know who Blythe Danner is, that's Gwyneth Paltrow's mom. Meet the Parents, that lady. I helped do makeup for theater and hair. Stay out of my makeup. And one of the keys with wigs, oh God, I gotta take this thing off, because I literally could not find a wig cap. I don't have a wig cap. I haven't been wearing wigs in a very, very long time. But I just took my daughter's tights. Oh, it was giving me a headache. But yeah, if you don't have a wig cap around and you need to pull back your massive hair, you can always use an old pair of tights, preferably your size, because these are child's. And if anybody wants to know how to do pin curls, because I threw this together, but I can show you how to do pin curls so you can properly place a wig. That's part of the reason why this one was so uncomfortable. So we are done with this tutorial, but you know, if you ever want to know some silly things, I know silly things. Look at my forehead. It was actually, I felt like I was going to pass out. Is the truth of it. And when you do tutorials, it's hard to like be yourself because you're thinking. You're thinking, and that's why the voiceover. So, all right, guys. That was my blurb. I'm done. Wow.